Hey guys, welcome back. Round of 32 is gonna be upon us very fast. We need to plan out because we have some serious work to do. We have unlimited transfers, but this is the last time we had unlimited transfers. And after this round, we're just gonna get 5 transfers after every round, and a lot of players are gonna go out after each round. So we need to plan out for that in advance, and we're gonna do that in this video. Okay, so the bracket in our planning, the bracket is the most important thing because there are some teams that are fantastic and they're really quality teams, but because of the bracket, they're not gonna go far, or there is a high probability they're not gonna go far. For example, just on top of my head now is Japan. They're a really good team. I would pick. I also had some players in the team, but they're gonna play Brazil, and after that, even if they win, they're gonna play a winner between Ivory Coast and Norway, and then in quarters England, etc., etc. But then on the other hand, we have a team like Argentina. It's gonna play Uruguay if Uruguay even progresses with all the problems that they have between Valverde, Ugarte, and others with Bielsa. They had some team problems and in team meetings and whatnot. I'm not going to go into details here, but Argentina have Uruguay. Then if they win, they have Australia or Iran, and then they're gonna have maybe like Switzerland or Croatia. So you want players from Argentina because they're gonna go deep. You don't need to transfer them out. Similar thing in this example, probably with, let's say, England, maybe, although I value Mexico a lot, or France because they're the best team in my opinion. Then they have Germany in the next round, but I would value France a lot. But on the other hand, like Netherlands or Morocco, I'm not so sure. I like both teams very much. But I mean, if they win, who wins between them? He has a very good last 16, and then they meet France in quarters. But still, I would pick some players if I knew who is going to win. But okay, so it's very important. This is not the bracket that's gonna be at the end of this round. This is just projected at the current status. So we have, I think, some certain matches like Netherlands, Morocco, Brazil, Japan, or like USA against Bosnia and Herzegovina. But a lot of these is going to change, but you need to follow the bracket. When the round 3 finishes, just look at the bracket and see who is playing against, and then who is then playing against winner of which match. This is very important. We are going to see why. Okay, let's go deeper and see what is happening. So we have unlimited transfers, but then we have 5 transfers after each and every round. But our players are going to go out. For example, in this example, it's like Brazil, Japan, and Netherlands, Morocco. If you have two players from Netherlands and Morocco, and Brazil and Japan, like 4 players are going to go out, right? Just there, with no other upsets, with no other injuries, suspensions. You need to transfer 4 players immediately. So you need to kind of plan already that you are comfortable with already knowing that a couple of your players are going to go out. 2 3 players, even 4, it's a bit risky, but it's acceptable. But if you already plan out that 6 players are going to go out, so you have 2 players from France and Sweden and Netherlands and Morocco and Brazil and Japan, you already know 6 players are for sure going to go out. And then you have some upset. I don't know, you choose England against Ecuador, and Ecuador wins, and now 2 other players are out, and someone is injured from Ivory Coast, or they get a red card from USA, and you're already with like 9 players or 8 players or 7 players out, and you have just 5 transfers, and then you need to take hits if you want to stay competitive. And then what's going to happen after the next round? Then before the quarters, you still have you get 5 transfers, but you're already like your team is already in a messy state, and you don't know what to do. So that's kind of we need to plan out. We need to find some anchors, so teams that you think are gonna go to at least semis. We have analytics. We're gonna go into that. Which teams are projected on the current brackets to go at least to the semis or quarters. And then you have kind of a couple of players that are bridges. You expect them to go to quarters, but then to crash out in the quarters, and then like two or three players that you just choose on your own, on random. Players you like. You choose them because of the price. You have some feeling that they're gonna do well. They're differentials or something like that. Okay, let's go deeper into that. So for anchors, what anchor means? It means that there are players from teams that have a very good bracket or a draw, and they are very probable, or at least probable, they're going to reach semis, and very high probability they're going to reach at least quarters. In this on this moment, these teams are Argentina, Spain, France, and England. I mean, they're the best teams. They have more or less maybe just one match until semis that it's kind of tough. France, I think, is against Germany, Spain against Portugal. At this moment, Argentina, no, England, I think maybe Mexico. But you want at least 8 players, 7, 8, 9 players from those 4 teams, or whichever teams you think are anchors in your opinion. Maybe you value Brazil a lot. You think they're gonna reach semis. Okay, let's go and take 2 or 3 players from Brazil. So you need to plan this out. I mean, yeah, this defeats the purpose of the game a little bit with like creativity and you know choosing players that are kind of unknown and you expect them to burst onto the scene or whatever. But this is how I do. This is how I plan, because I always did it like that, and then I ended up in like quarterfinals with a couple of players missing. But what is important here, maybe a little bit different than maybe some other games in certain moments, is you can just make substitutions at any time you want. So if you have 15 players, you can use these 11 players with most points, and then leave four players with less points on the bench, or some players that don't start, or maybe someone who got a red card or something like that. You're leaving them on the bench. So it's very important that you have at least 13, 14 players at all stages, so you can make some substitutions in these cases. And then you have these bridge teams. So these are teams that have good matchup in the first round, and then possibly in the quarters as well, like USA. They have Bosnia, and I think then they are playing against the winner between Egypt and South Korea or something like that. So it's very good to have a player from US, or from Netherlands. If you expect they're going to progress against Morocco, then they have a winner between Canada and South Africa, which is also good. So choose 5 players from those teams that are going to progress 1 or 2 rounds, and then 2 rentals, 2 players that you want to have for any reason. They're cheap. You think they're gonna score high. Like, I don't know, you have a player from South Africa against Canada. I think he's gonna score. You put him there. He goes out. You transfer him out, and whatever. Maybe from Croatia or from Egypt. Maybe you have Mo Salah. Even if he don't progress against Korea, okay, you planned out for that. And if he progresses, great, he has the next round. Maybe he can do something against USA as well. Maybe even they progress. It's just you plan that he's gonna go out, and then if he doesn't go out, that's even better. So let's go through some of those anchor teams. So we have France first. Mike Mignon is nailed, but he's 6 million. It's your decision. There we have a couple of defenders. Upamecano, Kunde, and Saliba are pretty much nailed. And then we have Dean and Theo Hernandez. If Dean is going to play at 5 million, he's a great choice. Otherwise, maybe Upamecano. But it's between Dean and Theo. I'm not sure if Theo is going to start at every match. We'll see. Then in midfield, Olise and Dembele are certain to play, and then Barcola and Doué are going to be probably rotated along with Cherki, so I wouldn't choose them. Maybe Rabiot. I like Rabiot at 6.5 million, pretty much, and of course Olise, but he's expensive. But I like Olise more than Dembele in this regard. And then of course you have Mbappe in the attack as a premium. If you can have him for sure. And don't have Thuram, of course. Although I like Thuram, but the France is just very stacked. Then we have Spain. When Simon is nailed, he's 5.5. Great choice. Then we have a couple of nailed guys, Laporte, Kubarsi, and Cucurella. Laporte is just 5.6. Very good choice. The ownership is just at 4.1. And then Porro or Llorente, who's gonna play? We'll wait and see. I would definitely buy Porro if he's nailed, but I'm not sure at this moment. In the midfield, there's pretty good choices, but they're all expensive. Pedri is good, but 9 million, is it too expensive? Yamal is a must-have. He's gonna play in the knockout stages for sure. I think I'm gonna input a couple of players in the team and then try to build around them, like even get some cheaper players. I think one of those is definitely Yamal. Um, and then Olmo, Gavi, all the other choices. I'm not sure. Maybe Nico Williams. He's 8 million. Was great at Euro 24. It was really great even in fantasy there. And then Oyarzabal is a pretty safe pick. I had him in the first match, and then he didn't touch a ball for like the first 30 minutes. It was some kind of negative record at the World Cups, and then there were some rumors he will not start in the second match. I transferred it out, and then he scored like 15 points or something like that. So that's why I don't like him at the moment because of that, but he's certainly a good choice in the attack. It's just 8.1 million. Then we have England. I didn't like England in the first two matches, but they have a strong team. Pickford is nailed. And then in defense, I also had Guay in the first match. He didn't play, and then I was like, okay, he's not nailed. God knows what will happen. And then I transferred him out, and he had, let's see, 14 points. Crazy. Then Konsa, I think Konsa is maybe the only one who is nailed in this defense, but I think Nico O'Reilly will play in knockout stages, but it's a bit messy to pick from England defense. Maybe then pick Pickford there and choose defense from Spain or France or something like that. Then in defense, I'm really surprised how good Declan Rice is playing, but he's 8 million. Elliot Anderson is 6.5. Maybe choose him. I wouldn't choose Bellingham in this type of game. And then for other spots, God knows who's going to play. Rashford or Saka or Gordon or Madueke. They're just rotating so much. It's very hard to pick someone from English midfield, and then Harry Kane, of course, premium as well. There's just a couple of those forwards that are very expensive. They're premiums. You need to choose. Are you gonna have like Kane and Messi, for example, or Kane and Mbappe, or Mbappe and Messi, or I wouldn't go for Haaland. He's also great, but it's very high chance he's gonna crash out soon. Maybe as a bridge, but he's too expensive for a bridge, or I'm not so sure. But in England, it's good to choose kind of goalie and forward for start because all the other players are not nailed or they're too expensive. So I will probably choose a goalie and forward. There's like two guys from England, and then go to defense probably to France and Spain, midfield France. We'll see because we have Argentina here. They have fantastic draw. Emiliano Martinez is nailed. Very good choice. Then in defense, Romero was very good, but he got injured. And Otamendi is going to play probably in the next round. Medina, very, very interesting with just 4.6. We're going to see if he's going to start. Then if he's going to start, I'm going to choose him for sure. And then in midfield, it's also tough choices. Enzo is too expensive. The Paul is not expensive that much. And he's very important here. Maybe if you don't have enough funds, the Paul at 6.1 is a really good choice from Argentina, and you don't need to transfer him out probably until quarters or semis. You're going to have him there lurking. And then in attack, it's just Messi because Lautaro and Alvarez, who's going to play or when? Are they going to, substitute each other out? I'm not so sure. Oh God, I want to pick like Mbappe, Messi, and Kane, but then I don't know what's gonna happen because it's fantastic to pick all three of them because they're both like anchors. They're gonna probably play it in quarters and semis. They have a lot of goals between each other. Um, but then what to do with like other positions? You need to choose a lot of players who are not that expensive. Then you have Yamal in midfield, Olise in midfield, Vini Jr. in midfield as maybe a bridge. In this regard, although he has really tough matches. I liked Brazilian players. I had Gabriel. He scored marvelously in every match. Had Cunha in round 3. He scored a goal. Vini was fantastic. Scored in every match, two in some of the matches. I don't know. They have Japan, and then if they win, maybe Norway. Maybe they can progress. I will probably choose one guy from Brazil, but we'll see. And also someone from Netherlands, maybe from defense, or maybe Gakpo, just 7.5. We'll see. Okay. That's it for this round. This video. You now know how to plan out, so you don't end up with having just like 11, 12 players at the round of, I don't know, like 16 or quarterfinals, or then later at semis. Although at semis is interesting, you get 5 transfers for semis, and then you get 5 transfers before finals and third place playoff match, but they're all the same teams, right? So whatever you have at in semis, they're just these 4 same teams, and for finals and third round match, you can get these 5 transfers. I think that would be enough, but yeah, you need to plan out until semis, so you have a complete team in the semis, and then it's cool for the finals and third match place. Okay, bye. See you in the next video.